Building a park on top of a power plant is not an easy feat, but we managed to convince the clients and our collaborators that we should make the roof extra strong so that we could carry a layer of soil so that we are able to plant all these different species of trees on this entire roof surface. When the landscape architects designed this, they brought a little over 100 different kind of species up here. But after 2-3 years now, we have doubled that number because birds bring seeds in. We even caught a fox that is nesting somewhere on the hill that you can see on the surveillance cameras at night running around. In this park we have different kinds of activities. We have a hiking trail that takes you all the way to the top where the chimney is, the tallest artificial climbing wall in the world. We have the ski slope, we have fitness areas on the top. This is a place where runners every week go and train for sort of mountain trekking. Here in Denmark, the seasons are quite strong. The winters, we do get a little bit of snow when all the leaves have fallen. In the summertime, everything blossoms and become really green. So it was important to make sure that we get a variety of different species that ensures sort of diversity in the green and shrubs and so far on the hill. In winter times, of course, when we have frost, steam from the chimney can form ice and snow that you can see here on the branches. Denmark is flat as a pancake. We don't have any mountains. When we had the chance to design an almost 100-meter tall mountain, it was clear to us that we could create quite a decent ski slope. So designing a ski mountain, obviously we don't have that much snow. So we need to find an artificial ski slope material, and we tested out different types, and the one we landed on is an Italian company called Neveplast. We worked very closely together coming up down depending on the cold and warm weather. It feels a bit like a hard-groomed piste where you can carve your skis into the slope and make some really decent turns, and because of the length you can actually practice quite well and get good. So everybody watch out for the Danes in the Olympics. In a few years we'll be world champions.
My name is Jacob Simonsen, and I'm the CEO of ARC. ARC is the waste-to-energy plant in Copenhagen, and we're very fortunate to have a ski hill, Copenhagen, on top of our plant. At ARC, we burn about 560,000 tons of waste every year. That amounts to about 1,700 tons a day. We have about 350 trucks coming every day delivering waste to the plant. The waste that we receive here is waste from the 5 municipalities, but we also receive waste from other parts of Denmark and actually also from abroad. What actually comes here is pretty much the whole periodical system. There's all kind of materials and chemicals and so on in the waste that we receive. So when we burn it, of course, you get all this kind of stuff in the smoke. But we have 2 football fields of cleaning technology out there. What a waste-to-energy plant really is a water boiling factory. We boil water for district heating, and some part of it is actually also turned into steam, and that steam turns a turbine to produce electricity. We produce a vast amount of energy, actually enough to supply the energy need for households in Copenhagen. And that is both in terms of heating and in terms of electricity. We've had waste energy in Denmark for more than 100 years. Of course, the plant at that time were totally different. Technology has developed greatly, and therefore we also actually don't emit anything else but water vapor and of course CO2. And the CO2 we want to do something about by introducing carbon capture and arc. That is actually where you catch the carbon from the stack, so you don't emit any CO2, and instead of contributing to the climate issue, you actually mitigate all the climate emissions from a plant like this. Waste to energy is a very necessary tool that you have in your toolbox in order to remedy the consequences of our fantastic consumption. But as long as we consume the way that we do, we need plants like this. If we succeed in changing our production and consumption radically, then maybe in the future we will not have plants like this. But until that, then we need this. When ARC was built, it is the first time when an architect actually turned everything around and said that there should be a ski slope on top of a waste to energy plant. It is a pretty wild idea and a crazy idea. It is a fantastic idea as well, because we can actually bring citizens to the plant. This kind of plant is important for any big city to have in order to be able to solve its waste issues. But being able to welcome people to the plant, make them see what we are doing here, is a huge benefit.
I really hope that this building will inspire to build more of those kind of power plants around the world. So of course, designing buildings of the future, we need to think about reusing materials. The Copenhagen facade is made out of recycled aluminum that has been burned and bent into these big bricks that essentially allows for daylight to come into the factory, so that you don't need artificial light to illuminate the space. This brings a lot of light into the space, which creates a much better working environment for the workers at the power plant. We need to think about designing buildings that emit very little CO2. So I think we have started measuring the CO2 impact throughout the design phase, and therefore nudging the clients into a more sustainable direction. When designing buildings at big, we use a term called hedonistic sustainability, which essentially means a building not only can be good for the environment, but it can also be good for the people if we use the right materials and techniques. Copenhagen has been burning their trash into electricity and district heating for over 30 years. Copenhagen is the upgraded version, taking all the learnings from the first power plant and putting it into this. So altogether, this can be one of the solutions of solving the world climate crisis.